I can't read a fucking thing on here, dude. My eyesight's so bad. No. Yeah, I apologize. Thoughts on Larry Wheels? I just know he's a good lifter. I don't really know anything about him. He's fucking strong. These bad boys. Oh, there we go. Okay. Sucks being old. I'm okay with it. Show me your friends and I will show you where you're going on in life. Where you're going in life.
That's bullshit.
How do you feel about Brett Contreras putting down your lifting methods? I don't give a fuck. Why would I care? We averaged 470 yards a game rushing, by the way. Give a fuck. Okay, got a newborn daughter, 8 weeks now, and trying to find time to train is very hard. Max of 3 days a week. My strength is clearly down. Any tips to make gains with the lack of sleep and time to train? What do you think, Dave?
Take a 4-day program, divide it over 8 days.
Yep.
I think people really overthink this stuff.
The other thing is, like I tell everyone, is make your wife breastfeed so you don't have to do anything. I tell everyone that.
There you go. That works. And do what you can do.
And get your sleep when you can, because sleep at this point is probably a little more important than training. So I'd rather have them sleep a little extra and do a little less in the weight room at this point, because you're not going to do anyone any good exhausted. Yes. Holy cow. Okay, is it necessary? Is going all in necessary to get an important type of perspective on life? What do you think, Dave?
I'm going to say yes, but it's conditional on responsibilities. And I want to say it's conditional on age, but that's not necessarily true. If you're, 18 to 24, 18 to 25, you don't really have a whole lot to lose.
Yep.
And you can really go at it. And it's still going all in is far more than what most people think it is. When you the problem is when you start to go all in and then you become addicted to it like I was. And then slowly things come into your life that you can lose, but you don't give a fuck if you lose them or not.
It's like being an addict.
Yeah, that's where it becomes a problem. But I do think the only way you're going to ever know if you've gone too far is to go too far.
Yeah, it's you. Like if people ask, leave 1 or 2 reps in the bank. Well, you got to know where you fall off before you know where. Like, listen, I know I got 2 more reps, so you have to fail a little bit. You have to fall off the edge a little bit,
and don't go all into anything you're not passionate about. I know passion is a word that gets thrown off, all over the place and redefined all different ways. But the way I put that is, if you're going all in on something and you're at your breaking point and there's nothing else left, and you still got to take one more step, work 1 more hour, do one more thing, the only thing that's going to get you there is the passion for what you're doing. Yes. Everything else will be justified away. Yeah. That's how our brain works. Like, I got to sleep, everything else. But that passion is like, fuck this, I'll do it, I'll figure it out later. So otherwise, you're just not going to be able to do it.
Yeah, I think is going all in necessary to get an important type of perspective on life. I think for the majority of people on this, especially in this country, there's not a lot of hardship. So I think you need to put your eggs all in one basket and really go for something. I think when you're dealing with some people maybe 100 years ago where life was fucking tough, you didn't need to get that because your perspective was, fuck, I'm cold, I have to chop wood.
Yeah, hardship's kind of been redefined. I think that, one of the questions was asking us, what do we think about the kids today or the parents of the kids today? And, it's going to fall back into the same thing of what did our parents think of us? It kind of rolls downhill. But, the kids today don't have, first off, you're making a huge assumption that they're all a bunch of pussies to begin with. A huge assumption.
That was my big realization when I got there.
Because that's not true. The other thing is they are dealing with things you never had to deal with.
Yep.
You didn't have to. I mean, I had to deal with being bullied as a kid. All right, what, 5 kids making fun of me,
here's
beating
the thing
me
is,
up?
you got bullied
personally.
Yeah, but when you went home, it was fine.
Gone. Yes, now it's 24/7.
Yeah.
It's text. It's all this
Yeah.
other. So they're dealing with things that we really can't comprehend. So resilience is something that every parent should be teaching their children, and who to really give a fuck about listening to. I
Yeah.
think that a lot of times they care too much about other people's opinions that don't matter.
Well, I think that's always been the case in a way.
Yes.
But I think with the social media, it's a different world, way different world. However, the same ideas. Like, people say, like, I tell my son, stay the fuck off social media. He's like, he doesn't have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, nothing. I'm like, good, stay off it as much as possible because it will bring you nothing but harm. At this point, you're not selling anything, right? No one gives a fuck what you're wearing today.
Yeah.
It's a very narcissistic thing, and then it just becomes this addictive. How many times I was in the airport the other day, I didn't see anyone doing anything other than looking at their phone. I was just looking around. It's like, I'm not looking at my phone. I just want to enjoy just watching people. And
it's interesting. I don't want to throw out a Bible card, but it is the first motivational book ever written.
Yeah.
Virtues still matter.
Yeah.
10 Commandments still matter.
Yep.
All those things still matter. So if people just went and lived, according to those, it solves.
The 10 Commandments didn't just are not just central to Christianity. For the most part, people will agree. Like, you know what? We probably shouldn't kill each other. We down with that? All right, put your hand in there. All right, good.
Everybody is.
That's obviously some of them are a little more religious oriented, but
I mean, they didn't just come from a rock.
No. Him and Moses. There's some basic tenets of life. The basic tenets of life. If you're going to live like in a civilized society, like I always hear people, I don't trust anyone. Well, you better not fucking drive because you're trusting that asshole to stay on the right side of the road when you're on the right side of the road. Mm-hmm. Right? Does that make sense? So, I mean, we have a tremendous amount of trust. And that's, in a civilized society, you don't all have to agree on some of the smaller stuff, but the big stuff. And the other thing is, I watched this. I think I probably mentioned this before. I watched this great documentary called the Other F Word. It's about fatherhood, and it talked to punk and hardcore musicians who now have kids. So at the beginning of their life, or when they were huge, they were anti-authority. Fuck the people, fuck the police, and now they are the authority. So how do you wrestle with that? And this guy had this great quote. He said, for all these years, I thought I was changing the world with my lyrics, and I realized it's all bullshit. I'm probably paraphrasing. He goes, then I had kids, and I realized the only way you're going to change the world is just raise good kids. So I have this thing, I said, listen, if you want to really change the world, raise good kids. If you don't have kids, coach, teacher, or mentor. And if you don't want to do any of those things, keep your fucking hands off. And so at this point in my life, I'm like, listen, I got my family. I have the kids at my school that at the London high school that I try to help out as much as I can. And after that, I can't control everything. And so I see all these people screaming and crying and yelling and screaming. I'm like, you're not doing anything. Fucking take care of your shit, man. Take care of your, And another thing, talk about values and stuff. I always think it's important to give back. Just like you guys have, I can't read it.
Learn, pass on. Everywhere.
I think it's, financially, I'm able to give back to my community. I'm not rich, but we live simply enough where I don't have to work 12 hours a day. And I did that on purpose. So I'm like, when the opportunity came up, when Matt Goodwin asked me, selfishly, I was like, nah, man, I'm fucking like my time alone. And I was like, what kind of person am I that tells people they need to give back, but I'm not willing to do the same thing? So it's been the most rewarding thing I've ever done. I don't get paid. And I just think, so I put my money where my mouth is, and I wonder how many people are elected leaders, AKA servants, are really doing that. And that's why, like, as soon as someone proposes something, I'm like, well, are you doing it? Mm-hmm. You fucking doing it? No. All right, well, then I know they're fucking frauds. And it's just, and I'm not saying I feel superior. I feel better because I know I'm doing what I stand up for.
And it validates that you're giving back for the right reasons, where a lot of people are giving back for financial reasons, political reasons,
Well, I want, like, dude, it's awesome. Like, walking around town and people are like, thanks, man. I appreciate what you're doing. I'm like, I'm glad to help. Thank you. And so it's been nice. But it was a big thing is putting my values to a test, and I faltered a little bit for first couple days. I was like, it's a lot of time,
It is a lot of time.
and I was like, I have to stand up for what I believe in, and I was like, fuck it, let's do it, and but yeah,
As I told you before, the first time I saw you on the sideline coaching, this is when you were coaching and not you were doing both. After all the years I've ever seen you in every situation I've ever seen you in, that was the best place I've ever seen you.
Yeah,
be.
I am the happiest I've been.
It was
and like I'm where I should be. And it's funny because you and I did all these different stuff. We go to all these big schools and talk to all these different things, and I'm like, you know what, high school, and it's the last place I think you can make a really good impression. Right? Think about the guys you had helping you out in the weight room when you were in high school.
High school is the last spot. Junior high, I think, is the most important.
Yeah.
But you still got a shot at high school.
Yep.
You still got, like you said, it's your last chance.
Yeah. And I had my greatest memories from, not my greatest memories, my greatest learning I had happen in high school. And that's when you can really, like, you send them off to college. It's like, well, I gave you something. Hopefully this can plant the seed. And it's not just about getting bigger and stronger and all that bullshit. Even doing the little things right. You talk about carrying over. Holy shit, does that matter? So you talk about you can't go on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't even leave for a weekend to do something. Good job, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
That was his penis, by the way. He didn't even sit up. Stand up.